Evening, ladies and gentlemen. The Monday, November 7, 2016 meeting of the Board of Civil Authority Board of Directors is now in session. Motion is in order to, oh, excuse me, let everybody identify.
Reg Mtg, Executive Director.
Tom Schneider.
Amy Trusetter.
Ken Stevens.
Kurt Coates.
Jerry Brown.
John Kara-Smith.
Reg Mtg.
Terry Hamel. Motion's in order for consent agenda, motion 1107, 12, or 1601. Motion in order. Do we want this one of the first line of
I'd like to make a remark about the minutes.
not
Okay.
Well,
Oh, wait a minute.
yeah, what I would do is motion the consent agenda, right? Ask what items, right, motion seconded, ask what items were pulled out.
You gotta get it on the table first. A motion is in order.
So
To
moved.
consider the consent agenda. So moved. Mr. Smith, is there a second? Mr. Brown, are there any of the items that need to be mentioned, discussed?
Yes.
Yes.
Under
Mrs.
administrative,
Trusetter.
under administrative report, it says we are continue. It should either say we continue or we are continuing. Either way.
Yes. So this is a corrective.
Yes.
That should be,
Or we continue.
it will be corrected. Are there any other issues? That, by the way, should be, we should throw that right on the shoulders of the secretary. To proofread all of the minutes, and make sure that they are.
Good thing it's you, I'm not sure my grammar's up to that. I would like to pull accounts payable for later discussion in executive.
Accounts payable in the executive session, yes. Would you remind me of that at the time?
Yep, I will.
Any other items? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It is unanimous among those voting. That brings us to reports. First one, administrative report.
We continue to be rather busy. As stated the last, we are busy with aluminum and grain. We have record grain numbers. We came in just a little bit early. We have trucks basically working 10 hours a day. And we have the first grain ship scheduled for this Wednesday. And the whole idea is empty out these domes into the ship and then refill the domes again. And I'm not sure if this has been done in the past, but if we can rotate these domes 2 or 3 times, that's what we're trying to do. Right now, this facility, and I'll say it in cooperation with the college, the fact that we can certify grain, the fact that we can do things with it, has enabled our market to a greater extent. We can now reach across the entire upper state, and we have cargo being shipped as far as Rochester, as far as Buffalo, even shipped in here to be exported. So the college, the fact that they can certify the grain, the fact that they can grade the grain, and that they do whatever they do with the lab down there, open up the markets tremendously. It's no longer just Purdue as the account now can sell internationally, and that has done well for the farmers up here. I can tell you that the prices on soybeans are record territory. I mean, you have people with pickup trucks dumping stuff. That's how good it is. So we have done really well in that regard. We do have a container ship upcoming. This is the container ship that I've been working with some time. There's more than one. I was hoping there'd be 2, but we'll see how the weather holds out. We have a container ship unloading German parts. Machinery parts, and then we also have some beer machinery components as well. Container ship is due on the end of the month, and there may be another one thereafter with some acid tanks.
Do they have their own cranes?
Yes, this is the stuff I was working with in Europe, if you recall, and this is where I told you we gotta go out there and sell. And I'll tell you, I do a lot of quotes. I don't get them all. Nobody gets them all. Nobody's ever did. But there is an improved vision of a Svigo, and not so much a Svigo. What they go with, what I learned is I would I would tell these Europeans, I'm in Oswego. Yeah, where is that? I'm in central New York, I'm in New York, that they get. So then next year when I go up there, and in fact I'm thinking of making some sort of a leave behind it. They know it's New York, they tie us together. And that's what happened here. This machinery would have came in probably, my guess would probably somewhere else, probably either down south or most likely Baltimore.
Where's it going?
One of it is going to a brewery in Rochester. The other components are going to Utica, all right? Some sort of machinery that's something that's free on. I'm not, I don't ask too many questions as long as it's legal. And then we have some other prospects, including cars to Europe and so on and so forth that we're dealing with. My point of view is it's a new business that we're attracting. We've done rather well. The other thing that we have done new this month, and I tell you, we had a good crew to do it. In fact, two technicals just stopped me. Aluminum comes in, the little aluminum ingots that you see out there, those are smaller. There's also a bigger version of it. And we had two railroad cars that they tested through us. And I tell you, our crew, the valves refused to handle it because the way it was strapped down. Our crew did a good job. We got loaded in record time and really positive result. And that may be a business for the future.
That's the scrap.
It's one of these things where they tested us a little bit and they gave us a tough one, but we pulled it off. So that's a good thing. I mean, it's a good thing.
Is that the recycle?
No, it's actually,
Just
it's
larger?
actually, it was 33, I still remember the weight, 360 pounds. It's one of those big, huge slabs, right? And they use this in one of the bigger comes out there, right? And it's not the recycled. The recycled, that's something else we're working on. That's something I'm going on with as well. Recycled stuff is.
So they want to ship it in bigger chunks, is that?
They do ship them in bigger chunks. They ship
And
them in
that's
smaller chunks and bigger
more
chunks.
efficient?
Is that coming from somebody else's remount?
It's coming from somebody else's.
Okay.
It's coming from Rio Tinto, which is another.
Because they're taking the scrap
That's how
and
they
doing the
do it.
remelt, and that's what creates the huge ingots.
Right.
You know, as opposed to the ones here that are like the T-bar ingots, like they're those big slabs.
Yeah. These are a lot easier to handle, and they're a lot more controllable. Those big ones are a lot more difficult to handle. I mean, it takes a certain type of machine. But our guy did a really good job. I mean, we're proud of him. That occurred. I did pull off another favorite thing of mine, which is I got something for nothing. It just cost me labor and transportation. I got some free Jersey barriers that all I had to do is go up and get, and we can use that for the facility, so that was a good thing. And as far as upcoming business, we're talking to some huge folks, that manufacturing folks, that our name is being mentioned in the right places in the central states. So it's not going to happen next month. I mean, these things take time. But I tell you, in a year from now, do not be surprised if you see some big industries in this field. That's all I have for now. I mean, next couple of days, I expect to see a frantic staff. We have one ship after the other. And that's what happens during the winter time. Aluminum, if you look at the numbers, we're a little bit behind schedule. Novelis is deliberately taking less inventory to control their costs. Now they have discovered that perhaps they were too aggressive, so now they're trying to they're trying to reverse the trend. So that's what's happening this month. That's all I have, sir.
I wanna elaborate on one of Zucco's comments. This container ship coming from Europe, which is some few years ago, I showed board members some new vessels that were manufactured by a shipping company from Amsterdam called Spliethoff, which ships were made specifically for the St. Lawrence Seaway, and they had started to deliver some materials into the Seaway system. Predominantly, they were gearing up to go to Cleveland, and the company that is bringing the container ship coming from Europe is one of the Spliethoff vessels coming from Amsterdam. They were scheduled to leave Amsterdam on October 30, and they estimated to be 12 days, and they would be at Oswego dockside. So it should be coming pretty soon. I'm not sure we had a container ship here before. We had containers in there, but I think they're most of it like trucks or rail. So this could very well be quite an event for us in terms of the future as well. Sweethoff is specifically interested in dealing in the Great Lakes Inland System, and their ships that will come there are engineered specifically for that purpose. So this would be pretty neat if they discover an even easier way to get to the East Coast from Amsterdam or whatever mechanism we can get from here to there.
What are the logistics of it? In other words, who schedules the delivery, who has trucks here to pick it up the containers? They do all that?
They do, or we can do it. I mean, I'll do, in the case of the little slab, we did it. We did it with our own vehicles. I prefer they take the risk and they take the cargo.
Is there any technological or mechanical things that would help you do the job?
The ship is self-geared, we do have the equipment to pick them up.
You do?
And we're
Okay.
trained,
So it's just a matter of communicating with a trucking company and,
right, yeah.
and there's, they're educated in how to load them onto the trucks and all,
Our
yeah.
people-
Well, I didn't
our
think they
people-
weren't,
our
but I
people-
thought I'd ask that question.
Our people love it. I mean, there's two things that happen. All right. The ship would be, hires a ship, if you would, a service. He drops it, it's called underhook. He drops it to underhook. Now the customer is then responsible from underhook to the point
So
of
that's
rest.
okay.
All right, and upon the rest, you have this thing called free time. Well, we all give them free time, 2 weeks, pick up the package. After 2 weeks, you have tariffs, right? Then, so our people will, our folks.
There's generally not more than a 2-week wait for a customer to,
Something like hot like this, they will almost pick up immediately.
Immediately, yeah.
Yes, machinery they need badly. But our people would move that container to the point of rest. Our people will also
Load
move
it
the container,
onto the
load
truck.
it. We certify that thing is fine, then it becomes the trucker's
How many are you talking about?
responsibility.
How many containers?
Right now, these are, I wouldn't even call them containers, I would say 4 oversized packages. How's that? 4 oversized packages with the additional, I have some acid containers that have certain product in it, and I have some to customs. Customs has certain issues that we have to resolve. So, once I get the paperwork, I'll
So there's
notify those.
4 containers?
4 large containers with ancillary equipment.
and certainly if we do a good job, the word is gonna spread. I mean, if our guys. can,
Listen, our
you know,
staff, definitely.
And not only that, it'll go from Oswego all the way to Lake Superior.
Well, that's what the chairman is talking about. I mean, if you can get the word out that we can efficiently move it down to New York, if we're an alternative. makes
So
sense.
we could be the hub of quite an important situation.
That's the whole idea with the single import thing.
Yeah. Are these, now these ships are worldwide, obviously, or are they just,
No, as the chairman points out, this is from Antwerp, Amsterdam. They're specifically made to transit the Atlantic and then go into the lake system. They were actually narrower than most.
are they in Shanghai or Tokyo or anything?
Not this particular ship.
Not this
This
group?
one.
Yeah.
This one.
There's 3 specific ships that are designed specifically to fit the size of
The ocean?
no,
Seaway.
locks, the seaway locks.
I see.
We're smaller, but you're smaller than.
Okay.
The seaway locks are limited to 675 feet, and that's what these guys are designed for.
So we're not limited by the seaway's capacities then?
Here we are. That's what the ships are smaller than normal.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
But that's the only way they can get a ship into the Great Lakes system, and be able to go through the seaway. That's the lock.
Sorry for the delay, I just kinda wanted to get my arms around it, you know?
No, the point is, we're doing certain things, we're getting out there, and it's paying off. And, it's what I was trying to tell you before. We do a lot of quoting, not all of it. It's all, the market is what the market is. I mean, market always finds the lowest price to the market, and that's what these guys do. They have cargo brokers who go out, they'll get a price from me, they get a price from Buffalo, they get a price from Cleveland, they'll get a price from Baltimore. And whoever gives them the best price, best terms,
Well, if we can be as efficient as New York, New Jersey, then we're gonna gain.
Way more efficient.
it should be cheaper, but it should be cheaper.
I'm just the eternal optimist, you
Yeah.
know?
But I think you questioned the right one, right? Because ultimately, the ability or capability of the ships that sail the Great Lakes is a limiting or a non-limiting factor, depending on what they could do. You know, and the fact that now it's that they're just kind of smaller bulk cargo ships limits the amount of commerce you can supply, but to the
And with new technology, those limitations could probably change too.
that's
Yeah,
what one would hope, yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what the topic is.
Is there an idea to bypass New York, to stay out of the confusion down there? Is that what they're doing?
In this instance, yes.
Okay.
In this instance, he'll pick up from Cleveland,
Makes
he'll
sense.
pick up from us, right, and then,
You
there's a
stay at all
niche,
that, what we saw down there one day? Gee.
there's a niche, there's a market, right? There's other opportunities. Tomorrow I'm talking to a particular vendor about, and this thing called the Jones Act. The Jones Act basically says you have to be an American flag carrier, but there's very few American flag carriers. They happen to be in the lakes, but there's very few barges and tugs that have that. You have a need from Salmon Rock to go down to Brooklyn, New York, right? So I found two people that I know. Now it's a matter of fitting the price to the component. What I'm trying to tell you is the city has a lot of needs, and again, if you can find an efficient way of delivering it, be competitive.
Well, if there's some guy sitting in Amsterdam and he turns something around and back to Amsterdam in 10 days instead of 30 days, it
But there's
only makes sense.
and this is the last thing I'll say, and then, but this is how important this is. And I think you guys are getting it, actually. It's if I can get this thing running, right now these soybeans are going to a bulk ship. A bulk ship is a big ship with a big box, you throw everything into it. It's a bulk ship, right? If I can box this thing into containers, they're that much more valuable, right? And there's more of those ships around, right? So now, Purdue's getting a nice premium, our farmers are happy because they're getting a premium, it goes downstream. We're happy because we're getting another service, you know, and we're putting a lot more people to work. So, we'll see, we're hoping.
I have one question on your administrative report about the Evans Spirit. How are you coming with that? Is
They fixed it, the last time that we were here, we had no issues. It was an issue of the wrong cable, wrong application. The last time the ship was here, it performed.
Is it a question of them just getting used to how the,
No, it was, apparently the cranes were not, it's embarrassing actually, they're not waterproofed correctly.
Really? so they didn't have everything read correctly?
No.
See, they should have had an ironwork. Okay, I'm all done.
Any other questions? Okay, is there a report from the attorney? I'm looking at the agenda and I'm supposed to do the next report anyway, I apologize. I have just a couple of things. One, Doc and I were involved with some students from college about the history and the function of the port. And I gave a talk to the class at the college, and then they came and spent a large part of the morning here and did a tour, got an explanation of everything that was going on, and we both received very nice letters, all signed by all the students, and the general sense was that they felt that they really, really benefited from the interaction with the port. They were really astonished what kind of stuff went on here, and otherwise who would have had no knowledge whatsoever, just like most other people in the area don't really have any understanding of really what goes on here on a regular basis. So that was very, very positive. I gave the same talk to the Maritime Museum, and the late Richard Fund's wife was there, and she asked me to bring these back. They had not been used, they must have been given to her husband at one time, and they are Port of Oswego Authority, the historic Port of Oswego, and these could be pretty old.
Yeah, back when they drank a very small cup of coffee.
But anyway, they're unused. That's the nickel size.
Yeah, must been espresso.
And they're
Made in China?
still made in China. So anyway, this is from Mrs. Fund, Bev Fund, and so we can make those coffee cups for the general use of people, I suppose, or if you wanna display them somewhere, I don't know.
I
I can't give you any historic information about them.
He likes to take
Probably-
all the fun out of it,
Probably
don't
don't have that much, except they would give it to him, and they would never.
Just a realist.
you?
So anyway. I have a handout. I received, I'll just pass this around. I received an inquiry on the basis of the reputation we're starting to make. I thought it useful for you all to know that all the good work itself is doing has benefits in terms of how we're thought of by others. In this particular case,
Sheet?
yeah, no, just back to back. In this particular case, a serious inquiry was sent to me. I don't know where the person got my name, but it was sent to the chairman about the prospect of us using private jets for our business purposes. And you do see on one side, they just gave us some examples of the cost. This is the best we could do. This is their inquiry about our favoritism toward jets on an emergency basis. And I think they went from $114,000 for a 26-hour period to $279,000 for a 26-hour period.
Bargain.
And these were the bargain prices.
Yeah.
And so I sent a letter, I thanked Mr. Wilkes for the useful information, and told him we didn't see heretofore any use of charter private jet business. But that Zelco would keep this on file and that happened. We at least know somebody in business that we could take advantage of.
Isn't there somebody in Valley that you could get us all down and visit, or? No.
So,
Commercial.
you don't get these kinds of inquiries unless you're making a reputation for yourself. You have to understand that. All right?
Fiji or someplace in the South Pacific?
That's your robo.
Yeah.
I mean, the prices were like 26 hours, that's not bad. I wanted to remind everybody that next week, the Highway HOA meeting is being held in Toronto, and so I will be joining. I'll bring you back, or we'll bring you back whatever good information we can. These are really, really good meetings, 2 full days, and it includes all of the ports from the entire Great Lakes and Seaway system. Half Great Lakes St. Lawrence Seaway system, half of it is under the control of the U.S., half of it under the control of Canada. So we have officials, we have lots of interactions, and Zelco does his magic with discussions in there and negotiations and that, but it's a very, very good function that where you learn a great deal. Presentations, discussions, 2 days. Covering a lot of people, a lot of ports, a lot of business. And we'll try to keep you all apprised. 2 other things. I have another handout.
You taking the private jet to go?
Yeah.
Private jet.
Driving.
We're driving.
Well, that's the same with driving with you, private jets.
From Toronto, they go so fast you barely be in the sky and they be like.
Well, Zelco on the thruway is like a jet anyway.
Well, this is a letter I received from, the bottom half of the letter I received from Jayco, and we were notified that we needed to incorporate into our code of ethics language which coordinates with the specific code of ethics language that Jayco required. And so I'm going to ask John Smith's committee, is that great? Can't remember the name of the committee. I chair myself. The governance committee to take a look at this. I'll explain with John in more detail. All right. What we need to do is make whatever changes are required, whatever changes to our bylaws that we have to make to coordinate with the Jayco bylaws, or Jayco not bylaws, code of ethics.
Mhm.
So it's gonna take some, just labor to integrate two documents. It may be simple, and it may be more complicated depending
Mhm.
upon what we see. And I thought, since you chair the governance committee, it is a governance committee function,
Mhm.
that you should take this under your wing and at least get a start on it, you and I can meet and
Sure.
get the whole committee together and put something together that will satisfy Jacob.
Sure.
So that will be the case. So that's basically all I have to say tonight. Those are the main things. We will be, one other thing, we will be soon, going into the new year, becoming involved in our self-evaluation, which is also required. And we'll get that started after the holiday season, before the end of our fiscal year. So that's all I really had to say tonight. Any question? All right, old business, on the agenda, it indicates there's no old business, is that correct?
Mhm.
New business. There's one item.
Bunch of old guys,
Huh?
there's a bunch of old guys in the room. But no old-
I'm glad you excluded at least one member.
I said guys,
That saves you a lot of trouble.
no, I'm not stupid, man.
Okay. So we got new business. Consideration approval return of two 8,000-pound forklifts and lease of 10,000 pounds. Address that, so.
Yeah, this is we lease our equipment, and all this is an upgrade. Lease our equipment on a monthly basis. I'm actually terminating a lease for 2 of the machines earlier and upgrading to a heavier machine for an additional $40 a month. What I'll do is take the 2 machines out of the system that we had some trouble with, turn them back in, and then get this heavy piece of equipment. We run our machines pretty hard, and I think we can use the 2 heavier ones, especially around the yard. Especially now that winter is coming, we need it would give us a little bit more punch during the winter. So it's just an authority for me to enter into a lease. I already spoke to Thompson & Johnson, they agreed to it. They were kind enough to break the lease. The other lease was for 5 years. I'm breaking it early. I'm breaking it 3 years early. So I'm here to tell you, leases can be broken as long as you have a willing partner. In this instance, they see the benefit, and we see the benefit because they do have the maintenance responsibility of small machines, and we're working very hard. I think that's saying a lot. In other words, we really put them through a ringer. And they're maintaining them, it's costing them money, hence he's willing to break the lease. I mean, that's the bottom line. Should we approve this tonight, I can get his machines probably the next month or so, and that will give us some.
Is there a motion to carry?
No, you have to make one, right?
Is it you just want a motion to approve the return of 8,000 forklifts and the lease of 2 10,000
Right,
forklifts?
that's it.
Enter into a new lease agreement?
And
And
then
then there's a new lease agreement.
Right,
Okay.
right.
Okay, is there a motion in order, motions or to move that motion?
So moved.
All right, Mr. Smith,
I'll second it.
Mrs. Tressiter. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's carried unanimously.
Well executed with a lot of enthusiasm.
I'm trying to hold, I'm trying to keep the crowd ruling. Any other items of new business?
No, sir.
I have to apologize. There was one other item that I wanted to just report on, the chairman's report. We hear an awful lot about J-COPE, but we sometimes forget that we're also under the jurisdiction of the Authority Budget Office. And they have a new requirement as well that we need to get into, and I have not been paying attention to this as much as I should. But they are just asking us to establish a governance practice on conflict of interest, a conflict of interest policy, which would be a brand new doc. We don't have such a doc. So I'm gonna ask John to look at that a little bit too.
Sure.
All right?
Got a lot of homework out of this
This
meeting.
is what happened.
Well, I mean, this is a, John has been involved in a lot of committees, and, at the local level, and even at the state, at the university level.
Yes.
With committee stuff, and he's a wordsmith, and much more than you.
He does have that reputation.
I serve on the president's review committee that has to review and send the information to the chancellor. So that takes a little wordsmithing too.
So those are two things for that committee. Okay, that gets us to executive session. Now, I'm assuming executive session, I don't know if there was any executive session, I can tell me what function,
We have two items in this executive session.
and are they, what?
A real estate
A real estate transaction. Okay.
and some building issues, contract issues.
Yeah, I did, then I asked for just some discussion about some account payable.
So, motion in order to move into executive session for the purpose of negotiations of business agreements and for, what was it? Oh, again, account payable, yes. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Stevens, is there a second?
I'll second.
Mrs. Treseder. In favor of moving to executive session?
Aye.
Opposed? We're now, it's passed, we're now in executive session, and, camera will turn off. Motion is in order to resume regular session. Mr. Brown? Motion.
Second.
Mr. Smith? All in favor of resuming regular session?
Aye.
Opposed? We're now in regular session. We have no action coming out of executive session. Are there any other items to come before the body? Motion is in order to adjourn the meeting.
I'll make that one.
Mr. Coates,
I'll second it.
Mrs. Treseder.
Question I made already.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We stand adjourned until the first Monday in December?
Yes.